Here is a timeline of important events in American history. Pre-colonial era, before 1492, indigenous peoples, including the Algonquins, Iroquois, and Sioux, have lived in North America for thousands of years. Colonial era, 1492 to 1763, 1492, Christopher Columbus lands in the Caribbean, beginning European exploration and colonization of the Americas. 1607, English colonists established the first permanent settlement in North America at Jamestown, Virginia. 1620, the Pilgrims established the first successful English colony at Plymouth, Massachusetts. 1776, the 13 British colonies in North America declare their independence as the United States of America with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Revolutionary era, 1775 to 1783, 1775 to 1783, American Revolutionary War fought between the 13 colonies and Great Britain, ultimately leading to the colonies gaining independence. Early Republic, 1783 to 1815, 1787, the U.S. Constitution is written and ratified, establishing the framework for the federal government. 1789, George Washington is elected as the first President of the United States. 1803, the Louisiana Purchase is completed, doubling the size of the United States. 1812 to 1815, the War of 1812 takes place between the United States and Great Britain. Expansion and reform, 1815 to 1860. 1819, the Adams-Onis Treaty is signed, with Spain ceding Florida to the United States. 1846 to 1848, the Mexican-American War takes place, with the United States emerging victorious and gaining control of present-day California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and parts of Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas, and Oklahoma. 1849, California is admitted to the Union as the 31st state. 1857, Dred Scott v. Sanford Supreme Court case ruled that African Americans are not citizens and have no rights. 1861 to 1865, the American Civil War is fought between the Northern States, Union, and the Southern States, Confederacy, over the issue of slavery. The Union wins and slavery is abolished. Reconstruction and Industrialization, 1865 to 1898. 1865, the 13th Amendment to the Constitution is ratified, abolishing slavery throughout the United States. 1866, the Civil Rights Act of 1866 is passed, granting citizenship and civil rights to African Americans. 1869, the Transcontinental Railroad is completed, connecting the east and west coasts of the United States. 1876, the Battle of Little Bighorn takes place, in which the Sioux and Cheyenne defeat the United States Army. 1887, the Dawes Act is passed, aimed at assimilating Native Americans into white society by allotting them individual plots of land. 1894, Coxey's Army, a group of unemployed workers marched to Washington, D.C. to demand economic relief. 1898, the Spanish-American War takes place, with the United States emerging victorious and gaining control of Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. 20th century, 1917 to 1918, the United States enters World War I on the side of the Allies and helps bring about an end to the war. 1929, the stock market crashes, triggering the Great Depression. 1941, the United States enters World War II after the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor by Japan. 1945, the United States drops atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, leading to Japan's surrender and the end of World War II. 1954, the Supreme Court case Brown v. Board of Education declares segregation in public schools to be unconstitutional. 1957, the Soviet Union launches Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, leading to concerns about the missile gap and a renewed emphasis on science and technology education in the United States. 1960, John F. Kennedy is elected as the 35th President of the United States, becoming the youngest president and the first Catholic president in the country's history. 1963, President Kennedy is assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Lyndon B. Johnson becomes the president. 1964, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is passed, banning discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. 1965, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 is passed, which aimed to overcome legal barriers at the state and local levels that prevented African Americans from exercising their right to vote under the 15th Amendment to the Constitution. 1968, civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated. 1969, the United States successfully lands astronauts on the Moon with the Apollo 11 mission. 1973, the United States withdraws from Vietnam, ending the Vietnam War. 1974, President Nixon resigns from office due to the Watergate scandal. 1980, Ronald Reagan is inaugurated as the 40th President of the United States and begins implementing his conservative policies. 2001, the September 11th terrorist attacks occur, killing nearly 3,000 people and leading to the ongoing war on terror. 2008, Barack Obama is elected as the first African-American president of the United States. 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic causes widespread illness and death worldwide, leading to economic downturn and social distancing measures. It's worth noting that this is still a brief timeline and there are many other important events and figures in American history not mentioned here.